2, 1.
Glowing Up Latina, Season 3, Episode 7.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Glowing Up Latina.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Kristina.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Lyana.
You guys, how are y'all doing today?
Sleepy.
Doing well. Yeah. How about you guys?
Good.
Yeah, it's fall. It gets dark really early now.
I
I
know.
know.
Daylight savings. You know, on Monday going to work, I woke up pretty early and I was just like, oh, I have all this time. Got my breakfast ready for work, my lunch, got to work. And then it hit me. I was like, wait, I wasn't a responsible adult. It's just because of daylight savings. I got an extra hour of sleep. So it wasn't really me.
Funny. I left work yesterday and it was dark. I mean, I left work a little later than usual because I had an eye appointment, but it was dark and I was like, it shouldn't be dark. This is not what the Lord intended to happen in the world.
Yeah.
I also thought we were getting rid of daylight savings time. I'm very confused. I feel like I did hear that.
so too.
I really thought that was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be a thing. No, we're here.
I read somewhere that I probably am butchering the name, or not butchering, but not remembering. It was either the House of Representatives or Congress that didn't pass the bill about skipping daylight saving.
Oh, I thought it was passed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what Google said.
I really did think it. I swear to God, I read an article where it was like, next year we won't have daylight savings time. I'm so confused. Whatever, I guess. But it's just like, who wants it to be dark at 4 p.m.?
I don't.
Not I.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Okay, well, despite how we sound, we are having a really good day.
Yes.
Noon on a Saturday. And it's kind of nice outside. It's I would say I love fall for how pretty it is. It's so nice. I love seeing the leaves change.
Exactly. These, this right now, this weather right now, that's what I was expecting all of October, all of the Saturdays in October, looking forward to Halloween. But every day, every Saturday was rain. So I did not look forward to Halloween. I was not in the Halloween spirit. So now I'm excited for Thanksgiving. Why? Because the weather is better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love Thanksgiving.
That is your favorite holiday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was home last weekend, and then I'll be home again in 2 weeks. So, always fun. Thomas is going home with me.
Oh,
So,
fun.
yes, he goes to spend Thanksgiving with me and my family. So, yeah. But I'm stalling a little bit because Amanda's topic, you guys. She had us watch something in preparation for this topic, and I was tearing up at that. So, I don't even really know how this episode's going to go.
I'm very excited for this episode. Again, I think I told you guys at the last episode that was mine. I think mine was the forgiveness was my idea for that episode. And I came up with this one too. There was a lot of inspiration for this episode. I just wanted to, again, soul searching and inner child was one of them. And are we just going to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. So the big inspiration behind this episode was that over the summer, I saw a Disney Plus short. And if any of you guys have seen any of their shorts, they're all tearjerkers. And Constantine warned me. And I was just like, no, I'll be fine. So we were watching a whole bunch of different ones. And then I came across one called 20 something. The premise of the Disney short, 20 something, it's about, how you approach adulthood and basically just going through the motions or faking it till you make it. So in the short, it's about, I forgot her name. I'm the worst.
Gia.
Gia, okay.
I watched it just last night because I knew I was going to forget everything.
And I watched it this morning.
I also forgot her name.
I watched it this morning and I forgot. Okay. So it's about this girl named Gia. She just turned 21 and her friend,
sister.
Sorry. Her and her sister are about to go clubbing and they enter the club, but Gia just kind of feels out of place. But they're 3 different stages of life or her ages add up to 21. I think it adds up to 21, right? Yes, because it was there's a 16-year-old version of her, there's a 10-year-old version.
So no, it doesn't.
It doesn't add up to 21, but there's a 16-year-old version of her, a 10-year-old, and a 1-year-old version of her. They're all guiding her like in this like coming
like
of
Little
age
Rascal style on everybody's
shoulder.
Yeah. I was very I was like, what? I'm so confused on what's happening right now at first.
They're like guiding her on like what to do on her first night of being 21, and she just doesn't know. She doesn't have the answers to everything, you know. It's a first time experience, and she kind of like fumbles in everything she does at the club. So she ends up running to the bathroom, and all of her like three stages, like three ages of life, they all start crying, boo-hooing, and her sister comes into the bathroom, and she's like, oh, don't cry, everything will be okay. Like, I don't always have the answers to everything. Because she's like, well, you make it seem so easy. She's like, yeah, but I really don't. And she like reveals like an embarrassing moment for her that the girls start laughing. And, finally like Gia like wipes her tears and she goes with her sister and they have a great night. So then after watching that, I cried, just like with any other Disney short movie. I thought about like what are those types of inner child insecurities for me, like now that I've reached adulthood and now that I am an adult. So how do they look present in my life? And did more research. And apparently there are different types of childhood wounds. And I'm just going to go over them. And we're going to see how they speak to us in our present life. And I hope this doesn't,
so cheery.
I don't know. Like, I don't know where this is going to go, but yeah. So the first childhood wound is a guilt wound. You always feel like you need to take care of others. And as a child, you were probably like, you felt bad for asking for things, and you at some point you felt like not deserving of those things. So you try to overplease other people when you do like the nicest thing, like nice things to do. Like you feel like you have to overplease to show that you are being a kind person. But then there are times you feel like not appreciated, so then you fall into this like guilt trip. Okay. Then there's abandonment wound, where you feel like you felt behind a lot when growing up, and it could be tied to where you were perceived as being abandoned by your parents or your caregivers, and you have a deep fear of being left on your own and then you can become clingy and needy with others. Trust wound is when you generally don't trust life. You may have had a betrayal childhood wound. Your parents might have not have followed through with a promise, and in order to compensate, you find yourself feeling like needing control of everything in your life. And the inability to control everything causes you to feel vulnerable and insecure. And then lastly, neglect wound. So you feel unsupported and having deep fears of being rejected or deemed as not important. You are afraid of not being seen and bottle up your anger, and then it can cause you to have sudden outbursts. So, knowing these childhood wounds now, which pattern do you relate to? Or patterns do you relate to? I mean, I could go first if that's going to help out everybody else. Okay. The one that spoke to me the most was the childhood insecurities. After my parents' separation, I felt like they were both going through a hard time, and I don't think anyone trains you on how to anticipate or what to do when you separate from your significant other, right? So I guess they were also going through the motions, and my mom was very much in tune with how I was feeling. She checked in on me a lot. I feel like my dad wanted to. It's just that he didn't know how to. So therefore, I kind of didn't know like I felt like maybe this is a bit of abandonment. Now that I'm thinking about it. Wow. But with, I guess it came with abandonment, yeah, and trust, because it's like I needed you to come through and tell me your side of the story, because it was very one-sided. I needed your side of the story as to why it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, like, yeah, it led to like trust issues kind of sometimes presents itself with me and Constantine, but that's not Constantine's fault, you know? And I'm very much, and my mom is very much a person who does things on her own. So yes, I learned that trait from her, but then it just like, it became more visible after that happened with my parents, that I was just like, yeah, I can do things on my own. So when there are times where Constantine's like, I can do it. Like if I ask him to do something and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. But like,
he doesn't do it right then and there.
it's like, but I want you to do it now. I thought I could do it. But then that's when I'm like, ugh, fine. I'll just take care of things. I think those are the two that popped up for me.
Well, I think for me, I don't know. It's kind of hard because I feel like I could pick something from each one of these
and find something.
Yeah. Because like I know, like you, I have like a whole thing with my dad. And it does get hard sometimes because, like you said, like it is like I only know like what I experienced. I don't know like what my parents were going through when they separated. It was also kind of weird because like I feel like we were in a spot where, as much as I wanted like a quote unquote whole family, like I knew my parents did not need to be together. I feel like it was very obvious to me as a child. Mm-hmm. And then when they split up, like, I don't know, we kind of just kept living our lives like it was. I don't know if I wish that somebody would have checked in on me because I don't think I had the language to like articulate what I was feeling because I was going into 7th grade. Like, there was a lot going on. Like, I was going into 7th grade. I was going to a new school. Because I made like the conscious decision for whatever reason. I was like, I want to go to this middle school because none of my friends are really going to this one and I can meet new people. Then I was like, well, that was dumb because I only know one person here now. But I don't know. And then like, I don't know if it counts, but I like when I was in high school, like I did enter my first like serious relationship and it was not a very like good, healthy relationship. But I feel like some of that stemmed from like, I think I've said it on here before. Mm-hmm. I like don't like the things that I have done in my past to like convince myself that I was worthy of love to other people just because like I perceived, or I don't know, I don't even know if that's the right word, but like thought that like because my parent did not love me, mm-hmm. then that meant I was unworthy of love, or because it felt like my parent did not love me, then I like sought that validation other places, unhealthy places. And then there was one thing in here that you said, you can like that for the abandonment wound, like mm-hmm. you have a deep fear of being left on your own and you can become clingy. It does say can, but like I feel like I went the opposite way where I'm like, well, I don't need you. I don't need anybody. I don't need anyone for anything. I'm fine. So yeah, I don't know. And I guess I could be untrusting, but not untrusting. Suspicious. I'm just like, yeah.
And it does like this doesn't have to reflect on like on our parents doing something to us. It's like literally any adult in our childhood who could have done something that stuck with us, or even like experiences like in school. Mm-hmm. So But I think mine was like, it kind of like stem from that.
I feel like it's hard because like your parents make such a big like impact on your life.
And that's not to say like I don't love each of them. I do love them. It was a hard time, but I think there were things like missing. There were missing pieces to the puzzle, and I wish I would have had that then. But I do understand it now as an adult. But yeah.
Aren't we just cheery today? Okay, so the one that I think resonates with me the most is probably like the guilt wound and probably the trust one. I feel like those two, because I don't know, growing up, like you're always taught like don't ask, like when you visit someone's house, don't ask them for anything, like just sit and just if they don't offer you, then you do not. So like if I was parched, would not be able to ask for water. I would just sit there and just be like, Mom, can you please give me some water? Because I'm really thirsty.
Right.
But yeah, obviously that's like a lighter tone to that. But definitely like growing up, I definitely see or feel like I could be very much a people pleaser and like not think so much about like the impact that it has on me, especially like with my family. Like I always feel like if I don't show up for them, then I'm not being a good daughter or I'm not being a good sister, and then they'll hate me or they'll be mad at me, and then I'm just like, well, and then I have to go out of my way, change my whole day, change all my plans to just accommodate them. Not that I don't mind doing it, but I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying,
because
I think that like this is a common thing with like first eldest child, especially eldest daughters. I feel like, and the only reason I say I feel like especially for eldest daughters is because like as women we are taught growing up that we need to like take care of people, take care of people's feelings, and prioritize like other people before ourselves. So I just feel like you add that to on top of being like the oldest, and you just, it's like the perfect environment to create this little like neurotic people pleaser who like only like, and because I'm guilty of it too, like I only like, I think for a good majority of my life, like I only wanted to do things that were like going to make my family proud. And then at some point I was like, okay, but what about me? Like, what am I proud of? What do I like? What do I want to do? And like even like now, like I feel like you still work on it all your life. Like especially now, like when we're starting to create like our own lives and our own families and stuff. I have to really like examine my relationship and my boundaries with my family, because like as much as I like want everything to be so like open and I'm available to help all the time, that's not a sustainable way to live. And also like as much as you love your family, sometimes they don't deserve all your time, because like you could show up for everybody else, but like who's showing up for you? And I think, which I don't know, maybe it's a bad way to look at it, but I feel like I'm being more of like reciprocal with it, if that makes sense. Like
I was gonna say, like in your defense, Lyana, when you say like you feel like you need to like change your whole schedule to be there, I'm very much a person, yes, a family member that I want to be there all the time. But if I look at the bigger picture, and I hate doing this, but like I think about everybody individually, I'm like, well, wait, hold on. Last time we met, you weren't there. And I continue to see the pattern there. And I'm like, so why am I trying so hard if there are people in this family who don't try hard enough? And I'm sure your love for us is there, but once in a while, it'd be nice to know, like acknowledge it and not ghost. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I feel that because it is like I can't always be me. I guess like I can't always be you or whatever.
I mean, I always want to be there. Like I do always want to be there, but when there are times where I can't, I do feel bad. I genuinely feel bad. But then I'm like, wait, hold up. This person is hardly ever there whenever we do anything. So why am I feeling bad?
Yeah, Norton is really good at reminding me of like, you don't always have to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but like, I feel like you should get it because you're like the oldest brother. And he's like, yeah, this is exactly why I get it. Like, you don't have to be there all of the time.
Like, we all work. We all have 9 to 5s. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And then the trust one. This is like funny, but not funny. So I don't know if you guys have also experienced this, but like growing up, I never really heard my dad say I love you, like ever. So now my brothers and I always play this game where like if we say it and he says it back, it's like I'm the favorite today or like whatever. It never happens. It's just like, love you, Dad. And it's just like, okay. Okay, great. So I think growing up with that kind of like reflected a lot in my relationships where if I was with a person and they would tell me like, oh, I really love you and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you though? Like, do you actually? Because I'm not really sure. But yeah.
And that could be right because you didn't see that like follow through like at the other end. It wasn't reciprocated. Like you know it's there, but it like words
my dad
were
is
not.
not a man of words, but he's a man of action. So looking back at my childhood, I could be like, you know, I see all the things now. Like every day he would come home from work with a bag of groceries. He always made sure we had food to eat. Always made sure that we had milk in the fridge or orange juice or whatever. Always like if I would be like, "Ba, can I have this cereal?" He'd be like, he'll complain about it the whole day, but he will come the next day with my favorite cereal. So like those are the actions that I missed growing up. Not missed, but like didn't connect the dots.
Yeah.
Because like all I know is I love you as a kid. But now that I'm older, now I'm like, oh, that's what he means to say when he brings me a glass of milk or like a bottle of milk every day.
But I mean, I also think it's okay that like that's what you wanted to hear. Like I think like it's still important for kids to hear that because we were not a big I love you family when we were growing up. We were not a big like hugging family either. And sometimes like that was all I wanted was like to be hugged or told like I love you, I care about you, you're important to me. We are much better about it now. Like every time I get off the phone, my mom or my brother is like, I love you too. Like make sure to say it. Or like even when like I'm home, my brother will like leave for like the evening to go do whatever. When he's leaving, I'm like, hey, be careful, love you, talk to you later. Like so I feel like I don't want to say it gets overused now, but like just make sure to say it now. Which like I feel like is very healing for like a very like little me.
Yeah.
So like okay, so like now thinking about you, like little me, right? Going back to the Disney short film. Are there like is there a specific age or ages that you feel like that makes up your inner child?
Like her 3?
Like her 3? Or it could just be one specific age that is your inner child that she comes out once in a while and you're like, it's okay, it's fine. It's all good.
Well, okay, I just spent a lot of time thinking about this question because I saw it in the agenda, and I think that between like 8 and 9 for me would definitely be one.
Okay.
And then definitely like 13 when my parents were getting divorced. But then the third one for me is kind of hard. No, it's not actually. Because I was gonna say it was either between like when I got into my first relationship or towards like I think it's only hard because like I don't know. I get like you're still a kid at 18.
Yeah. Yes.
So when like everything was happening with my dad, that was really hard. Because I got a lot of like socially, like among my peers, got a lot of flack for it, and like really nasty comments and like just things that were not in my control. And
Mhm.
like, because I was thinking about it, like you guys have both shared like bullying experiences that you had.
Mhm.
And I don't want to say like that I was never bullied, because that's not true, but like it didn't, I guess like, I don't want to say it didn't stick with me, but like I spent a lot of time working with my therapist on like, I spent so much time when I was younger caring what people thought about me, and then like now, like I just can't care at all.
Mhm.
Like your opinion of me is your opinion of me, and that's great for you, but what is it going to do for me? But the one thing that I've never been able to shake, like, because you know, you get I feel like every girl grows up getting the comments like, "Oh, you're not pretty," or "You're not, you have too big this," whatever.
Mhm.
Those comments I've been able to shake off and like whatever. The thing that I'm still working on is like letting go of like all of the comments that I got when everything was like happening with my dad and he was like in the papers and on the news and stuff.
Mhm.
Those have been really hard to like work on. So I feel like, yeah, that's a good range. It's like 8, 9, and then 13, and then like 17, 18, around there.
I think for me, definitely 12. Definitely 12 years old. And then I would say about 8 when my titi passed, because that was like the first time like I experienced like grief like that.
Mhm.
So that was very weird. So I would say 8, then 12, and then I don't know. I think I would say 8. Like I think I would say like 18 again, because I was like going to college.
Mhm.
I had no idea what I was doing,
Mhm.
and it was weird. Like I was in college, like kind of by myself.
Yeah.
So well, not really, but like it just felt isolating for a
Mhm.
little bit. So yeah.
For me, 11 speaks out like the most. I don't want to say the most, but like it's up there, 11, because that was like the time. I was like, I must have been like in the 5th grade at that time, and I was tall. Like it was abnormally tall for my age group, and I got made fun of for it. I had friends. Don't get me wrong. Like I had friends, but you know, it just like it felt weird. You know, it's not a good feeling when you're being made fun of, or you know, you experience like your first like girlfriends fight or whatever, and you know, things being said about you and rumors. So I think that had like I've carried that with me a lot. And then 15, when my parents separated, I was just like in my cocoon, and like at the time I didn't tell anyone what was going on at home. I didn't. Like I didn't know how do you bring that up?
And then I feel like they're so big on like, well, what's happening in your house stays in your house. So
Yeah.
like,
Right.
so it's like like you want to talk to somebody, but it's like, okay, I don't want my parents to be mad at me, and like also I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Right. And then like, you know, again, like when I knew that when that was going on with my parents when I was 15, and then thinking about what like all of the like things I experienced as an 11-year-old with like girls talking about like behind your back, I didn't know how to approach the separation topic with my friends, because I was just like, I don't know what they were going to think of me, what they were going to think of my home, and or even just like discuss it with other like family members, and you know, just have like the spotlight on us, where it's like, oh, see, they claim to be the perfect family, but they weren't all this time. And like, what's going to happen to Amanda? And at that time, like, that's when I started dating Constantine, and like some people like kind of were like, maybe she's like finding her dad's love through him. And that's like, that was not it at all. Like far from it. And then like when I was like 20, like around that time, I should have been like more than halfway done with my undergrad. but I was still considered like a second year, like in like the fall semester, like in terms of the classes, because I was a part-time student, so I wasn't like matching up with my peers and graduating on time, and everybody else was like almost like with their foot out the door, and I'm over here like, what am I doing? It's like I want to finish and I can't finish school. And I think sometimes that does happen to me even now as an adult, where everybody is like, everyone's about their life and doing other things, and you're trying to also, like, you have the same goals. It's just like things are just not planned out, the way you wanted to. And I've always felt like I've had to, the topic. I feel like I've always been a person where I'm given these struggles and these obstacles to go through because that's just how it's intended to be. Paul. Freaking episode.
It's like that. Have you seen that meme where it's like me calling God to say, "Don't put me on your strongest soldiers list this year"? Side note, I fucking hate that phrase. Like, God gives his strongest soldier or his hardest battles to the strongest soldiers.
Yeah.
Like this is like a whole nother thing that we could talk about.
Yeah.
But like we are all like women who believe, and I do take comfort in my faith a lot of the time, but like sometimes I'm tired. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. So you being like, well, God will never give you more than you can handle. Yeah, he has. He has. I don't know what to tell you.
We'll continue to do so. Who's going to stop him?
So yeah, so it's always been that way. Like, ever, like, for as far as I can remember. But at the end, like, I always see it through. Like, it just always happens. Like, it ends up happening the way I want it to be. It's just like, you got to go through this before you see, what you want to see at the end goal. So when I saw the Disney short film, I was like, damn, what a time. Like, Constantine, why you make me watch this stuff? So yeah.
I have some questions for you, but you also like made me think like in our thinking we're a lot more similar than maybe like, I don't know, like I knew we were similar in our thinking, but maybe more so than I thought, because like I've also been like, things have been so hard for like so many points in my life. Like, could we not just maybe have one point where like, it's easy breezy. We're just gliding through, and it's like, wow, I never thought life could be this easy.
And even when it does happen, where things are just happening so naturally, you're just like, wait, hold up.
Yes. And then my mom is like, enjoy it. What's wrong with you? Just enjoy it. And I'm like, but it's coming. I know it's coming. Okay, yeah, so there's that. But then also, because our parents like both got divorced when we were young, but they were both very different ages. But they were both like, to me, ages that I consider pivotal, because you're going into high school at 15, and at 13 I'm going into junior high. So like, not that there's a good time for your parents to separate. But do you feel that like how would you feel about it like how do you feel about it at 15 versus 13? Because like in my thinking, I'm like, well, damn, maybe if I was 15, I would have been able to better articulate like what was happening, or like, you know what I mean?
You know what's funny? I think at 13, who knows, maybe if I was a bit younger, I think there would have been a little bit more of explaining. Because you're a child. So your parents are like, it's going to be okay. It's fine, But at 15, I think they already considered me, like, she's very mature. She clearly sees what's going on in this house. Like, she knows what the vibes are.
Yeah.
So we're not going to play stupid and act like, and sugarcoat everything. So again, they were going through their own emotions. So if they're trying to figure out their emotions and plus mine. I mean, again, at the end, they always made it about like, it's about Amanda now at this point. It's about Amanda. It's about Amanda. But, you know, I think I wish it was like a little bit more effort was put into like seeing how I was doing rather than just like, okay, well, I'm laying out the cards. This is it. And that's how it's going to be. And I don't know what more to tell you.
Mm-hmm. So now I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but sometimes I feel like it's taken advantage of like how like quote unquote mature I seemed when I was growing up, because it was like, oh well, she'll be fine. Like she's very capable of adapting. She'll be okay. Like she'll get through it. But there was no like checking in on like what was going on like internally. And a lot of the thing was that like I'm not a person to like outwardly blow up my life. You know what I mean? I'm not a person like no matter what I'm going through, like everything that you're gonna see is like that it's fine. And it's not even because I want my life to be perceived in a certain way. It's just that like I don't know. I don't have the luxury of screwing up and people coming and cleaning up after me.
Yeah.
So like everything that happens like goes on here. And in here it's a mess. It is. Like if you were to look inside here, I'm pointing at my head for people who are just listening, you would be like, oh my God, she lives like this. What in the world?
Right, because we try hard to make sure that if my name is gonna be in your mouth, it's for good reason. It's not that my name is in your mouth for chisme, malintentions, or gossiping about whatever, what have you. But that's the reason why at 15 it was such a hard situation with me being going out with Constantine, because it was just a matter of, oh, when is this girl gonna screw up? Or even if I wasn't with Constantine or I was out with friends, like, oh, she's está en la calle, anda en la calle, she's always out in the streets. I mean, I was kind of like that in my 20s. They were like, she's always outside. But like, I was with my boy. Like at the time, I was with my boyfriend, my fiance. Like, it's not like I was out here by myself. But you know what I mean. But she's never at home. But I'm like,
I'll be honest with you. I'm so glad I did not do my 20s at home. So sorry, Mom.
Don't regret from 24 to 20 to 29. I don't regret it. But good times. Yeah, I don't regret it. But yeah, everything in here you would never know, because I made sure I'm not gonna give you that satisfaction.
That could lead me somewhere else. But my other question for you was like, because you said you were 15, so was this pre or post quince?
Oh my God, it's so hard to like.
I feel like it was
changes
during, wasn't it?
No, changes were already happening. Like it was already visible what was kind of
coming.
Was coming. Yeah, you can.
At
it was a lot of foreshadowing. With a lot of foreshadowing.
Okay,
there was.
So like together at your quince, but post quince, everything kind of changed.
Yeah.
So post quince, it's like funny but not funny. Our last family vacation together, we went to Disney World, and like my mom said that like they fought some like. I don't want to say a lot of the time, but they fought during the trip. I don't remember that at all. I remember having a great time at Disney World. I remember literally everything but them fighting.
Oh, really?
So it's crazy, like what your like. I guess how your brain like helps you get through those things.
Yeah,
because like you would think I would remember more about like my parents like splitting up, and I do remember some stuff, but also like. What I remember a lot is my mom. Like, this is why, like, I've talked to my therapist about this quite a bit, is that, like, to me, it never feels good to, like, be angry with my mom for, like, things, like, faults or, like, things that I guess you could, like, be like, oh, you should be mad at her for that. But, like, that doesn't feel good to me because, like, I watched her try so hard to make everything good, make everything as normal as possible, give us what she could. Like, so it will never feel good to me to like be upset with her about anything. And even like we went through something a couple months ago, or not even a couple months ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, where I was like, okay, I know I've been being funny, but I was mad, and like I don't want to be mad at you. I've told her I don't want to be mad at you for anything. Because I don't know why. Like, it just doesn't bring me peace to be mad at her. So yeah.
Like, something recently happened, like, not recent, but like about like 2 months ago. Like, I was like, not that I was in a weird spot or a weird place with my mom, but definitely like there was something there. And she can tell and I can tell. And I had to just, I think I had like my breaking point where I was just like, damn, I need to tell her. Because every time I'm on the phone with her, like our conversations were so stale.
That is literally what was happening to me. And every time I talked to her, she would be like, are you okay? Is everything okay? I'd be like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, I'm just tired. Yeah. And like, but no. Moms know everything.
And she's asking. It's not like she wants to know. She's asking me. But it got to the point where, again, where like my conversations were so stale that I wasn't looking forward to the calls like I used to. And I finally just like called her and I was like, hey, I need to like discuss something with you. I need to get off my chest. And I told her how I was feeling and she told me how she was feeling. And sometimes, she can be someone who like puts her guard up and she's like, hold on, but I get it, I get it, we're discussing feelings and I can see how you can feel like you could be offended. However, it's not to make you feel offended. It's just like, this is how I feel and this is how it, like I perceived it. But like, if you let me know how you perceived it and how you feel, then we can get somewhere. And, the conversation ended on a good note. We were fine. And from there, we're back. We're good. Everything's all good. But it was definitely like, you're the one person I'm always running to and I always got to talk to. And if we continue to have this pattern of dry ass conversations, I am going to like bang my head on the wall continuously nonstop because no, I hate that. Because if there's one thing going like right in my life, it is her. It's always going to be her. So I was like, everything else can be like in shambles and falling apart into pieces or whatever, but like her, I need that. I need to make sure that relationship is solidified, it is concrete, and we do not let things fall through the cracks. So,
amen.
We were like living the same life and I didn't even know it. Oh goodness.
No, I don't even know how to approach this. This next question.
I'll do it. You know what? I'll tell you.
Okay.
Here's what I needed to hear. When I was 8-9 years old, I'll tell you at each age what I needed to hear. When I was like 8-9 years old, I think I needed someone to tell me that like, I was like this little girl, but like, I trust you. I trust what's going to come out of your mouth. I trust that you are telling me the truth. I believe in you is what I needed. At 13, this is like a whole nother story that I'm not going to go into, but like, I needed to hear that it was not my fault what was happening. That like, everything that was happening, it was not because of anything that I did or anything that I set in motion. And when I was 18, I don't know. The thing is that I was hearing it, but I didn't believe it. Everybody just kept telling me that like, you were not him. You are not what he does. You are not what he did. Like people were telling me that, but I was just like, at 18, I was so angry at the world. I was so angry at God at 18. Oh my God, I was so angry with him. And for a little bit, like I was like, I don't believe. Like, what's the point of believing? It doesn't make any sense to me. Because I was watching like all of the people I love around me like kind of unravel and come apart from like this thing that my dad had done. People that I loved and I cared about and that believed so strongly that God could get us through anything. And I was just like, look, what is he doing for you now? He's doing nothing for you right now. And I remember I was sitting with my mom. I remember this like for the rest of my life. I was sitting with my mom in the McDonald's in the like drive-thru. And I was like, I just don't understand what the point is because they all believe so strongly and nothing is happening for them right now. And my mom, like, very just like, my mom is like she believes in God.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, she was like, you have to come to this conclusion on your own. I can see why you're angry. I can see how you got there. And I'm not going to push you one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to like sit with that and figure out what you feel on that. And eventually, like, I did come back to my faith, and I did come back to, because I realized that, like, I don't know, I think we mentioned in the religion episode, but like, a world without faith for me is not like something that I'm like really about. Like, I need to have faith in like a higher power and a higher being to like be and exist. And so I don't know. I don't know if there was something additional that I could have heard at 18 or what, because like I did have all these people around me telling me the things that I needed to hear, things that I tell myself now. But it was just like people my age, we were all about to go to college and like become something. And it was, everybody was like, well, you're probably going to become nothing because look at what's happening with you and your family. So, and I think like maybe a small part of me like internalized that. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to law school and I'm going to become a lawyer and I'm going to live in New York and I'm going to do all of these things. And what are you doing? So, but I'm fine now for the most part. That the last piece is like, I think not the last piece that I'm working on, but it's something I'm still trying to work through. Because it was really hard. And I don't think I ever really let everybody know like how hard it was for me. And I think if I could go back, I would be more vocal about what I was feeling. But it was a hard time for everybody. So it was just really hard.
I think for me, so at 11, I want to say for sure, like at 11 and at each 20, my mom was very much there. Oh, all ages, right? Just letting me know. At 11, she's like, listen, Amanda, yes, you're tall. Yes, you stand out. But you stand out in the most beautiful way. All right? You're a good kid. And she was there. Okay. At 15, I felt like I was her crutch more than she was mine. But that was the hardest time to say. I've never seen my mom like that before when they separated. And I felt like I was giving her words of encouragement. And she was too. So I did need to hear what I needed to hear from her. And then when I was 20, and trying to finish school, and she's like, but Mija, you're trying. It's not like you're failing. It's not like you're giving up. You're out here. You're still doing it. Keep going. She goes, I wish I went to college, and through you, like, I'm going to college. I'm very proud of you. She always told me she was very proud of me. Now going back to 15, what I wish I would have heard was, again, my dad telling me his side of the story and why things got to where they did at the time. I think that would have, like, it would have cleared a lot of things for me. Because and from like 15 up until like now, or I would say like maybe like 3 or 5 years ago, like, yeah, my relationship with him was like very, just kind of distant. Love him from a distance. I guess not as much now, but it was just like not very close. But now that I'm older, I find myself talking to him more and being more vulnerable, and he's being the same way. Like now he's more vocal about how proud he is of me, how far I've come, all of my accomplishments. And we do end the calls with I love you. Like, I tell him I love you, and he's still like, okay, love you. And he'll hang up the phone. Like, I know it's there, but like it's taken him a while to do that. And sometimes like I wonder, like, I hope that he's doing that with my brothers. I'd hope so. Because me thinking and knowing how he thinks, like, it's taken him this long to tell me. I hope it's not taking him like the same amount of time with the boys, because they're always with it. they're around him more than I've ever like really was when I was, their age. So, but things have gotten better. They have. I'm happy for that, I'm happy, in general, whatever. But it was hard. And sometimes my inner child, she comes out once in a while. But we're getting there,
God, it's my turn. Ran out of tea. Okay, so I said 8, 12, and 18?
Yes.
Like college.
Okay, so at 8, it was the first time I not ever experienced grief, but it was like the first real memory I have of grief. And it was with my titi, and I was very close with her, and she raised me when I would because my mom and my dad, they both worked, and my titi didn't. And she was the one who she basically was my nanny. She would take me to school. She would give me dinner. She was just she was a solid for me for a long period of time. And so when she passed, it was a very weird experience because one, I didn't know how to really act. I didn't know, I was sad, but I didn't know why I was really sad. I didn't understand that I wasn't going to not see her ever. And I think at that period, I didn't know what I needed to hear. But I think the main thing is I wish someone had told me it was okay to cry. Because I don't cry at funerals. Very rarely do I do. And I always feel weird crying at funerals because I always feel why am I being so affected by this? I'm not the daughter. I'm not the,
okay.
I'm not I'm just a niece and I'm only 8 years old. There's no reason for me to cry. I shouldn't be crying. And I've always carried that. Even not just recently. 2 years ago, my cousin's dad passed away. He was my uncle. He was very close to my dad. And I loved him. He was my dentist for a bit of time.
Oh.
And when he passed, it was a really big shock. And even then I still didn't cry. Because I wanted to, but then I just feel I see my cousins crying. I see my dad crying, my mom, my aunt. And I don't feel I deserve to cry because why do I need to cry if he's not my dad kind of thing. I don't know, it's just really weird. So I think when I first experienced that with my titi, I wish someone had said it's okay to cry. Because I feel I would have been more willing to do so at other funerals.
Yeah.
I don't even think I cried at my grandmother's all that much either. It was I very much turn off everything. So I wish I would have heard that at that age. And then at 12 was a really tough year. And I've talked about it a lot here. 12 was when I moved to PA. It was a huge culture shock because we were living in Lancaster. That's Amish town in Pennsylvania. I felt I was the only colored person there. I was new to the school, didn't really have any friends. I was getting in trouble a lot. And then we moved back to New York. So middle of the year, changing schools, having to make new friends in a new environment. Getting bullied too, because I was the new kid. Also didn't really have that many friends. And that was when I was going to school with that family member as well. So it was that time was also pretty tough. My mom would talk to me a lot. She would be don't try to distance yourself. This is why, you don't, trust everybody that says that they're your friend or whatever. And so I feel like I heard what I needed to hear, even though like I internalized a lot of the stuff.
Mhm.
Because obviously, like, I didn't really tell my mom everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I needed to hear at 12. That was a kind of an isolating time. So I don't really remember what I needed to hear. And then at 18 to, I would say 18 to 20 was when my grandmother was really sick. And she also passed away at that time. Also didn't really express my emotion as well as I feel like I should have. And I was also starting school, new environment, all that stuff. So I think at that point in time, I don't know what I needed to hear either. Like, it was just one of those times where it was like, I need to like not be a problem to anybody because everyone's going through their own shit. And like, I just need to like figure it out on my own and just kind of do it. And I think, I don't know what I needed to hear at that point. Maybe like, you're doing great. And I don't know. I guess, maybe. I don't know. And that's it for me.
So, I saw a TikTok where someone took their mom to a toy store to buy their mom their first doll because growing up, they never had one. So, what is one thing that you guys didn't get the chance to do or have something physically that you can easily get now or get yourself now in order to heal your inner child?
As far as a physical item, I think I'd have to think on it some more.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that did come to mind is what I said earlier, was that like the I love yous just like flow so freely in our house now. I mean, it's not like we're walking by each other and like, love you. We're like getting off the phone or something, you know, or like we're leaving. And it's just like that. And like hugging is like, no, I mean, my mom and I still kind of like hug when she drops me off at the airport, but like, or like when I get home or whatever. But like, that's fine. Like, that's so different than how I grew up. And that has been like really great. The buying stuff, I don't know. Cause sometimes I'll just be like, you deserve whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy, you can have. That is not a good mentality to have, you guys.
No, that could spiral into other things, and no, I don't recommend it.
I think for me, I would get myself a bicycle.
Oh,
do you know how to ride a bike?
No, I don't.
Thomas doesn't either.
I don't.
Y'all don't? Oh my god, we should all probably go to the park one day, rent bicycles. I tried to teach Thomas.
Yeah, if I'm gonna bust my ass.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's too late now.
Yeah, literally.
It's never too late.
It's extremely late.
Yeah. We'll get you, what are they called? Training wheels.
That's fine with me. Training wheels is okay.
I can do training wheels.
Yeah, but
I can do a tricycle.
Yeah, for real. But
that's cute.
An actual bike, no.
Yeah, I would get myself a bicycle just to look at it.
Just
because I can't ride it.
Does Nor? Because I know he does.
Nor knows how to ride a bike.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does
Bicycle.
Constantine?
Yeah, he knows how to ride a bike. He's tried teaching me, and I'm just like, no. I'm okay, thank you. Just like with the ice skating. No, not doing that.
I'll try ice skating.
No.
I'm like this.
No.
Like arms spread wide open. Baby
Can we
steps.
get you like a walker thing?
This one's a little silly. I wrote something else differently on the agenda, but this one's actually silly, and I thought about it because you mentioned bike, like a physical object. My mom used to get her nails done all the time, and I would always tag along with her, and I'd be like, oh, I want to get my nails done like you, because she always used to do acrylic. At some point, she stopped and she only did like manicures, whatever. Boring. I'd be like, oh, what'd you get done? Oh, never mind. And I remember like going up to her also like around 11 years old and like wanting to like put acrylic nails on my, and she's like, no, you're too young for that. You cannot put that on. No. And it wasn't until like I was 15, like she was like, fine. Okay. You can do that. So, right. I would go get my nails done, and it wasn't a consistent thing because again, getting your nails done even back then, like a fill-in for like $15, which is not the prices. Those are not the prices now. You know, that was still like a budget. Like my mom was like, I'm not out here spending $15 on you every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So no. So whenever like I saved my pennies, I would always go, and she'd be like, let me see your nails. And it was always like they had to be short, they couldn't be long, and they couldn't be like a weird crazy color. She's like, at the end of the day, you're still a kid, so don't be going crazy with these nails. So if there's one thing I need to have done, it's my nails. One, because I think my hands look mannish when I don't have nails. But that's the one thing I can control, and I know I can do. Like, no one can stop me.
That's a good one.
No one can stop me. Like, she would stop me, you know, once in a while. But now I'm like, these are my nails. I can do what I want to do now.
Yeah.
I couldn't have red or black or like neon colors. Those were like crazy.
I told you guys this story, didn't I? That I went to school, like that was my rebel phase. I painted my nails like a neon green color. My mom was like, you better not have neon green on those nails. I was like, I don't. And I went to school that day with neon green nails.
Yeah, you know, the first time I got my nails done was my quinceañera, like, because I got them done for my quinceañera, and then after that, like, I was allowed to get my nails done, and I was like, that was so cool. And anytime I had money, I would go get my nails done. And I think we had this conversation not too long ago, where I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it, because I was like, maybe I should cut it out and save money, and I was like, no, it makes me happy.
That's what I'm saying. If it's true. Every time, like, if my little job gigs here, babysitting here and there, like, that was the first thing I would do is spend money on getting my nails done. Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, it's my money.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my nails done. Sorry. Like, I'm not coming to you for money. I'm getting my nails done. So that is one thing that I actually have, like, full control of. Yes, I can save. I could save for that, you know, put that to the side, but no. I want to get my nails done. That's me time. One. Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's me healing my inner child.
Wow. An episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know. You guys, emotional roller coaster.
That was a good one.
It was a good one.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it a lot.
I feel good.
So much about you guys today.
We learn something new every day.
The more you know. Okay, you guys, what is making y'all glow this week?
It was my goddaughter's birthday during the week, so we're gonna have dinner later. I'm excited.
Oh.
Excited to go see my goddaughter.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yes, she turned 5.
Oh.
She's 5 now. I don't know where the time has gone. My God. But yes, I'm excited to see her later.
This week, what is making me glow? I don't know. I don't think I have anything to do the rest of the weekend, which feels, after a very busy weekend last weekend, feels nice. So next week's gonna be pretty busy though. I got some birthdays. We have Friendsgiving.
Yes.
And then I'm back home.
My glow is that my parents. It was my parents' anniversary this week.
Oh,
so it was really cute. Yeah, it was cute. We went out for an Italian restaurant called Jose Luis Italy, which is my dad's name. I was like, how'd you find this restaurant, Bob? He was like, oh, I don't know. I was just driving through. And I was like, okay.
It's funny. Well, congratulations to Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And on that note, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you guys leave us a glowing review on Spotify. Leave some comments on the YouTube. You can stream season 1 and season 2 and the rest of episodes of season 3 wherever you listen to your podcast. Yeah, we'd love to hear from y'all.
Yes, and we promised to put up a question on the story, on our stories, on what you guys want to talk about at the end of the season. We will work hard on doing that this week. So follow us on Instagram at Glowing Up Latina, or you can also send a private, request on what topic you want us to discuss here at the end of the season at glowinguplatina@gmail.com.
And until next week, keep glowing, mija.
Bye.
Bye.